Evolution 2025 kicked off with a banging triple threat match between Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. All three women wrestled like the rent was due. I really like that this was a Lyra Valkyria showcase because her being the most inexperienced superstar in this match, you would not tell. If you showed a random person this match, you wouldn't know who the least experienced was. And that's not a slight at Becky or Bayley, obviously. I'm just saying Lyra can hang, man. She definitely is the future of the WWE. Match wraps up when Bayley hits a rose plant on Lyra and Becky Lynch hits one of the coolest backslides I've ever seen. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, check it out. This was a beautiful ending to a very nice match, and that theme will run throughout the night. Second, we got Jacy Jayne versus Jordynne Grace. I'm not gonna lie to you, if you've been rocking with me for a little bit, you know that I'm not really the biggest NXT guy. I actually did not watch this match, but from what I hear, it was a banger. Jacy Jayne actually retained after a little Blake Monroe interference. So Blake Monroe was in the corner of Jordynne Grace. Blake Monroe hits Jordynne Grace with the title, allowing Jacy Jayne to hit her finish and win the match. 1, 2, 3, Jacy Jayne picks up the W. That's all I got for that one. Like I said, I didn't really watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might get into NXT in the future, but for right now, it is what it is. Next, we get the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match between Zarya, Sol Ruca versus the Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte, Alexa, and the Judgment Day of Perez and Rodriguez. And I just love how the Kabuki Warriors were just vibing.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I love how the Kabuki Warriors were just vibing to everybody's entrance. You know, they're so cool. The Kabuki Warriors are sick. Their entrance was dope. Everybody had pretty cool entrance, but it's kind of hard to be cooler than the Kabuki Warriors. Let's be real. Sol Ruca showed out in this match. She hit a nice double soul snatcher from off the top rope, and that move is so sick. I'm not gonna lie, every time I see it, I kind of wince just a little bit because I feel like the opportunity for error is so high. She pulled it out, man. Good for her. Charlotte Flair. I find Charlotte Flair was hot all night. These fans were chanting Charlotte Flair like she was one of the biggest baby faces in the WWE, and I'm not gonna lie, I like that for sis. I really like that for Charlotte Flair. She came in, she hit her chops, she hit a cartwheel into a clothesline. It looked really nice. This babyface Charlotte angle, I like the whole bigger sister take with her and Alexa Bliss. It's refreshing. Good for Charlotte Flair. I feel like her career has been revived. Everybody's kind of been tired of the old queen gimmick and I'm better than everybody and I have no friends. This is a nice refresh for Charlotte Flair. Good for her, man. Raquel Rodriguez tags in after this, and like the force she is, she just cleans house. She throws Alexa Bliss outside of the ring. She directs traffic to Roxanne Perez to take somebody out. And like the absolute boss, I actually just made a video about Raquel Rodriguez about how I think she could be as big a star as Rhea Ripley. Check that out. But man, she cleaned up. She hit Sol Ruca with a Tejana bomb, damn near puts her through the mat. And they retain 1, 2, 3. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are still your WWE Women's Champion. The highlight of this match, though, was actually back to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. So Zarya was gonna hit Alexa Bliss with a spear. Charlotte gets up and she pulls Alexa Bliss out of the way and they kind of fall into the corner. Zarya hit Sol Ruca, by the way. That's probably important to mention. Zarya hit Sol Ruca, which is her partner. That's not good. But as Alexa and Charlotte fall into the corner, Charlotte's almost huddling Alexa Bliss like a bigger sister. It was a really nice moment. I really like this tag team. They were my pick to win. Like I said, Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez retained, which I'm not mad at. Shout out to the Judgment Day. Shout out to Roxanne. Shout out to Rodriguez. But I did think that Charlotte and Alexa was gonna pick the win up. Again, not mad at the finish. Next, we got Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton. TS versus TS, baby. Trish Stratus showed up, she did her thing, and she's proved that she could still hang. As I was watching this match, I didn't realize, like, let me not, no. When I had Trish Stratus winning this match, but when Tiffany Stratton made her entrance, I was like, oh, this chick has a little bit of aura to her, eh? She made that entrance in that all red and she came up with her shiny title. I was like, yeah, no, Trish ain't gonna do it. Trish loses after playing the hits, so you get a Stratus faction. I believe there was a chick kick in there. Trish showed that she could hang. Ultimately, she fell up short. Tiffany Stratton is still your WWE Women's Champion. Now, the only thing I will say that I didn't really enjoy about this match was the finish. Shout out to Tiffany Stratton, but you can't keep bringing these legends back just to eat the mat, you know? Eventually, it wears off. If you know these guys are just gonna come back just to lose, they kind of lose their aura. We saw it with Goldberg. We saw it with Trish Stratus again. And what I actually said to my friends, my homies, I said, yo, like, you don't want to get into a position where you're Chris Jerichoing these legends. Shout out to Chris Jericho. I only say him because he's the best example. I mean, he came back at WrestleMania and lost to Fandango, for God's sakes. Fandango? Come on. So, like, eventually it would be nice to see these legends pull a victory out. That was my only beef with this match. Shout out to Tiffany Stratton. Nothing against you. We get Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Woo! Man, let me tell you, Bianca Belair, special guest referee, she came out in them stripes and looking like a sexy zebra. Oh my goodness. Bianca Belair, woman. Oh, let me get to this review. Let me calm down. This match was hard hitting. These ladies, you could feel there was some legit animosity. I like when I'm watching a match and the suspension of disbelief is there. You know, I can suspend my disbelief. I don't have to worry about spots being called. I don't have to remember that this isn't a legitimate sport, quote unquote. I can just watch and get lost in the match, and that's exactly what the hell happened here. You had spots where Naomi ran into Jade into the announce table. There were sparks from that. There was a spot where Naomi got a table in the ring. She turned it upside down and stuck the legs up. She damn near tried to blind Jade Cargill on the leg of the table. It looked vicious. Shout out to the ladies for pulling that out. There was a toolbox spot where Naomi was outside of the ring and Jade Cargill literally just got this heavy ass toolbox, hoisted it outside the ring and just dropped it. You heard the thud, as they mentioned on commentary. It was cool. There was a chain in the match. There were table spots. There were chair spots. At one point, Jade Cargill put a garbage bin over Naomi, and she gave her this sick pump kick. Oh, this match was fire. Ultimately, Jade Cargill won by hitting Jaded on Naomi through the announce table. She pinned her 1, 2, 3. And the thing that stood out to me about this match was the look, or I guess lack thereof, when Bianca was raising Jade's hand. This did not look like a friend raising a friend's hand. I don't know what was happening. It's almost like the lights were on, but nobody was home. I don't know if you guys remember Jesse and Festus, but that almost like blank look Festus had before the bell rang. Something's cooking, man. I think, and I understand why, people were expecting a heel turn from Bianca Belair. Something about this look. This turned off here. Something about this look almost was sinister. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but all I can tell you is I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens next, man, between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, because Bianca was not feeling it. It was almost worse than when Lyra Valkyria had to raise Becky Lynch's hand. So I really can't wait to see what direction this goes in. In terms of the winner, I thought Naomi should have pulled this out because, you got to throw Naomi a bone, right? Jade Cargill just won the Queen of the Ring. She beat Naomi at WrestleMania. There was really no reason for Naomi to lose this match. Next, and the main event. Oh no, sorry, we get the Battle Royale. Okay, so Nikki Bella makes her entrance. Chelsea Green then makes her entrance, which I was really happy about. If there's one thing about me, you know I love me some Chelsea Green. She's almost up there with like Bianca. Like Bianca's my number one all time, but Chelsea Green, I see you, girl. Shout out to Canada. So it was nice to see Chelsea Green looking glamorous in her gold. She makes her way to the ring with the Secret Hervis. Everybody else makes their entrance after that. The ring starts to fill up. We get we get a quick little spot with Nia Jax, and she kind of throws Kalani Jordan onto the apron. She bumps her off, but then Kalani Jordan is caught. I don't remember exactly by who. I'll figure it out. I'll put their names somewhere here. The magic of editing. So she gets caught. She's not eliminated, but she somehow lands on the announce table. And so I guess this is like the Kofi Kingston kind of battle royale role. She immediately does a handstand and gets back into the ring, which was a nice little spot. Shout out to Kalani Jordan. She almost gives like younger sister vibes. So shout out to Kalani. The only thing I would have done with this spot, I would have had Kalani wait a little bit, man. Like, you don't have to do the whole chicken shit heel thing where you just sit on the announce table all night or just roll underneath the bottom rope and just chill outside of the ring the whole match. But it's okay to be a smart babyface. If that was me, I'm chilling for a little bit, man. Throw a couple of their asses outside of the ring. And then you get your ass back into the ring and then you clean up of whoever's left. Pick the scraps, as they say. So she gets back into the ring. That was a cool little spot. We have Stephanie Vaquer. Sorry, brain freeze there. Stephanie Vaquer, she's about to give Nikki Bella the devil's kiss. And then who breaks it up? Chelsea Green. I said, Chelsea, no, what are you doing? We got to see this. She breaks that up. They continue. Michael Cole kept calling Candice LeRae Candice Michelle. And it was the funniest thing I've heard. I know Cole misses Candice Michelle. I wonder why. Cole a dog, man. Dominic Mysterio, never mind that. We got to worry about Michael Cole worrying about Candice Michelle and trying to slide in Bailey's DMs. I see you, Cole. I've taken you in, big dog. You got to give me some advice, man. So that was funny. That was cool. Chelsea Green gets the devil's kiss. That was amazing. So I instantly forgave her for breaking it up earlier because we got them green cheeks in that devil's kiss, man. Yeah, man. I love that. I love that. There was a spot where Chelsea Green did Nikki Bella's little dance. Boy, give me a piece of Chelsea Green, man. Let me behave myself in front of y'all. The final three, you get Lash Legend, you get Nia Jax, and you get Stephanie Vaquer. And Lash Legend just, I don't want to say deadlifts, but she picked up Nia Jax with the greatest of ease. She hoists her over the ropes so that Nia Jax is just standing on the apron. And then eventually Lash Legend and Stephanie Vaquer end up eliminating Nia Jax. And it was a really nice spot. You had Lash Legend again, just picking up Stephanie Vaquer, hitting Nia Jax out like a battering ram. That was dope. So the way the match ended, Lash Legend and Stephanie Vaquer, they're battling, they're fighting, they're doing their thing. They end up on the apron on the outside of the ring. Well, I guess that's where would that be where the apron is? Yeah. They end up on the ring apron and Lash Legend gets caught in the devil's kiss. You could see they're kind of battling for position, but once those Stephanie Vaquer thighs wrapped around Lash Legend's head, I don't care how powerful you are, she started bouncing her head onto the mat and then she just kicked her off. Just get out of here. You out of here. Stephanie Vaquer going to Clash at France. So that was nice. I did have Stephanie Vaquer winning this match. So that's cool. After that, we get a quick little interview. It was Stephanie Vaquer and Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon asks Stephanie Vaquer in Spanish. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even remember what the hell she asked her. It was in Spanish. It was a cool little moment. But Stephanie Vaquer responded along the lines of something like, sorry, this is kind of hard for me. English isn't my first language, but wrestling is. And I was like, yo, that is fire. How can you not like Stephanie Vaquer, man? Looks aside, devil's kiss aside, she just looks like a solid human being, you know? I wish nothing for the best for this chick, man, and I can't wait to see what she does with the company. Now, we get the main event of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, World Heavyweight Championship. This match was fast-paced. It was hard-hitting. You had high-flying spots. These ladies were going at it. And keep in mind, Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley in one-on-one competition. They start battling. They're going at it. They're doing big bumps and high spots. The ref takes a hit. So I seen everybody in the audience kind of look to the back because, you know, we're kind of, we're trained to believe that when the ref goes down, what's going to happen? Nothing happened. They bounced outside of the ring, which was nice. And then they got into the crowd. They start fighting in the back. And then Io Sky makes her way up this high-ass platform. It gave Jeff Hardy vibes. It was almost like the SmackDown trailer where they showcased that you could go into the back and go into the crowd, and then somebody jumped off. It was a really nice moment. I don't understand how she doesn't get afraid when she's up that high. I'm personally afraid of heights. I almost shit myself watching this, but as ever, the professionals, they did the bump. They got back into the ring. Rhea Ripley ends up having Io Sky into the top rope, and I think she had a riptide, a top rope riptide in mind. Io Sky counters that into a Spanish fly. They're laying there. They're laying there for a little bit, and then it happens. Naomi's music hits. Naomi runs down to the ring. She cashes in. She clocks Io Sky with the briefcase because once you cash in, it's now a triple threat match, and there are no rules in the triple threat match. So she hit Io Sky with the briefcase. She went into the ring. She threw Rhea Ripley out of there. Peace out. She goes to the top, hits a split-legged moonsault on Io Sky. 1, 2, 3. Naomi is your new world heavyweight champion. And shout out to these women, man. This ending was phenomenal. I've seen some people complain, shocker, about this ending. I think you checked so many boxes. You hear about the saying, 2 birds, 1 stone. This did that. As I mentioned earlier, Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley in one-on-one competition. That stays. Rhea Ripley hit a riptide on Io Sky, and she got the visible pin. This is when the ref was down. So, of course, the fans started doing the count. You'd get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So visibly, it's like, okay, Rhea can beat her. She just didn't. So Rhea has a claim for the rematch. That we could go that direction. Naomi is your new world heavyweight champion. Everybody thought she was going to cash in on Tiffany Stratton. So this was a nice swerve. I didn't see this coming. I could have booked 1,000 endings. I wouldn't have booked this for whatever reason. I don't know how they trained me to not even think this is a possibility. It's always nice to watch wrestling and be genuinely surprised. So this was fire. I don't understand what people are complaining about. I seen a guy say he would have had Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley clean and then had Naomi come out to cash in. But I'm just thinking, what the hell is the point of that? So you're going to have Rhea Ripley eat a pin. You're going to have Io Sky eat a pin. And for what? None of them walk out with a championship? This match was perfect. Io Sky remains undefeated against Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley got the visual pin. So now she has a claim for the world championship. Naomi out here making history. I believe I seen something online that said this was the first female cash-in that turned the match into a triple threat. So there's that. Naomi has won, I believe she's the only superstar to hold TNA Women's Championship, the Raw Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, and the World Heavyweight Championship. Y'all better proceed with caution and put some respect on my girl Naomi, man. She's not playing around. But the pay-per-view ends. Naomi's your new World Heavyweight Champion. She goes to the back. Pay-per-view fades to black. It's over. This pay-per-view might have been the best pay-per-view I've ever watched. That's not cap. I enjoyed myself from top to bottom, minus the NXT match, only because I didn't watch it. So I might actually go back, watch it. I heard it was great, but this pay-per-view just flowed really nice, man. Not one time was I bored watching this. This was amazing. It was amazing. I actually asked on my channel right here, I said, never mind just a pay-per-view. Should the woman get their own show? I don't know if you would make like a whole separate show, or maybe you give them a SmackDown or a Raw, but if you've seen Monday Night Raw, you saw how it opened. I think they could do that weekly, man. Like, let me know your thoughts. Should the women get their own show? Is that a bit too much? Like, how you feeling? How'd you enjoy the pay-per-view? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys soon. Again, I always forget this crap, but if you enjoyed it, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. I love doing this. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.